From postman to postmaster, Quinten Post has been incredible for the Warriors this season. But the last game versus the Knicks showcased maybe some of the issues that he could run into in this Warriors playoff push. He's an amazing three-point shooter, but there's a lot more to the game. Right here, we essentially have the Knicks setting a screen with Precious Achiuwa onto Jimmy Butler to make him off balance as we get a driver towards the rim. Quinten Post's role right here is to essentially split the difference between guarding a corner shooter, who's going to basically go down here, as well as receding to the paint to prevent an easy bucket. As you play the clip a little bit more right here, Quinten Post tries to split the difference a little bit. And it kind of forces the offensive player to essentially kind of whirl back out to the three-point. Quinten Post still, though, is trying to split the difference and doesn't realize that this pass could still be open. And so the easy pass is made as this offensive player moves closer to the wing position. This handoff happens, and now he's in isolation versus Anunoby. And this is really a tough position for a guy like Quinten Post, who's definitely a big man with a little bit of a slow twitch muscle fibers, so to say. And as he moves right here, he kind of gets a good position off the dribble. And I think Quinten Post tries to essentially hedge him towards Draymond Green to make it so that there's a lot of traffic and it's a tough finish. And Quinten Post does a good job of it, but then he thinks he's actually going to take the free throw, which I think is a big mistake by Quinten Post. Just making sure that, you contest well, stay straight, and don't let him beat you is really the goal here. In fact, you can kind of see it right here, but he shouldn't be worried about getting beat over the top with this type of jump shot. He should be worried about this exact drive because Draymond Green will not be able to help. If he goes the other way, then Draymond Green would be able to help. So that's kind of a little bit of a defensive mistake on Quinten Post. But this is where I really want to highlight, although he's a postman and not a postmaster just yet, he is able to contest with his length and gets a really good contest right here that forces a missed shot and an inevitable Warriors rebound. Now let's look at him in transition. I think this is something bigs, especially new bigs, really struggle with. He's communicating early, which is super important, communicating that, hey, somebody needs to guard Precious. And then now Anunoby's going to get the ball right here at the top of the key. And Draymond is essentially basically going to try to switch off. And I think something that's important to notice about this game is Anunoby was absolutely on a heater. I think Quinten Post should have adjusted by trying to make sure to come up to the level of the screen. But he doesn't. And Anunoby tries to basically brute force himself under. And this is a really important clip right here. So Draymond has really good position. He's right on his hip. He had a little bit of room to make up, and now he's running at basically full speed. All Quinten Post here needs to do is just keep Anunoby from running at full speed. But what he does right here is he gets his hands into the cookie jar, and you kind of see that. This is a problem I feel like Wiseman had as well, much worse than Quinten Post, but he kind of gets his hands into everything. And you see right here, as soon as this play ends and the foul is called, Draymond Green yells at Quinten Post, hey, you need to go straight up. That's not how you defend in this specific situation. We had him covered. We just had to make sure to essentially collapse him in together by pushing from both the middle of the floor as well as the sideline, kind of creating a box and no outlet for him. And so Draymond Green is really going on to him about it. And I think that's really going to help him on the defensive end where he struggles the most. Now let's look at the offensive end specifically. This is kind of more towards the end of the game. Moses Moody drives and gets Hart and Anunoby and basically everyone on the Knicks looking towards him, expecting him to finish at the basket. You notice how Quinten Post gives us the upside, maybe alley-oop it, something like that. And this is a play Post has to finish quickly. All of the defenders know that there's going to be someone that's collapsing down here, and there's going to be Jalen Brunson here, and everyone's going to try and stop him scoring. And so he gets the ball. He really has to go, as soon as he gets this ball, he's going to have to go right back up because Anunoby's there. Basically, the whole Knicks roster, besides Mikal Bridges, who's just like standing out there, face guarding Steph Curry by half court, just classic Steph Curry things. But then Quinten Post is going to hold the ball, keep it down low. And now there's like basically a jumbled mess of people right here. And this is a really tough finish for Quinten, and he ends up losing the ball. And that's something that he definitely needs to work on, holding on to the ball and making sure that he's able to finish in tough situations around the basket. He's been great from three, almost 50% from three as of before this game. But he does need to work on obviously those offensive skills around the rim. Right here, he's driving versus Anunoby. And he's going to go towards the rim feeling like he has the mismatch advantage. He has this little package he's been trying to unveil lately, um, where he kind of does a back to the basket turnaround jumper, but he doesn't go up strong enough with it. OG Anunoby is a strong player, but Quinten Post is way bigger than him. He should be able to push him and easily get this ball into the rim with a hook shot. But he doesn't. He leaves it short on the rim. And that, honestly, it looks like that was like a 80% field goal percentage shot, but he isn't able to finish that. And finishing those types of moves versus a wing defender is super important because it can allow Quinten Post to actually defeat mismatches and be an even more important cog of the offense. And I think to get from postman to postmaster, he's really going to have to improve his abilities around the rim, as we saw in the clip before, just finishing around the rim when he gets the pass, as well as driving into around the rim area and finishing. And one of the last clips we have here is him on the defensive end. He did the bounce pass to Precious Achiuwa. Brandon Pajemski's kind of aware, and Post is essentially tasked with guarding this basically line drive. And Post is a little bit out of position right here, but he recovers pretty nicely using good footwork, a nice crossover step to kind of get towards the middle of the court. He's obviously big and long, but then right here he goes up and just essentially blocks it. But he doesn't stay in the play to get the rebound. And I think him playing with the Warriors system a little bit longer and learning a little bit more about it will help, because it will allow him to understand, hey, we don't have the biggest people on the floor, and if you're not able to rebound or box out, it's going to be really tough for us to defend it. Also, pointers for Brandon Pajemski on maybe making sure to trust Quinten Post. He's been bad defensively in the past, but he's improving as the season has gone along. So having him maybe box out Josh Hart instead would be a better use of his time, and so that the Warriors could get the rebound instead of getting basically beat for 2 points. And I mean, Quinten Post has really been incredible. He's improved defensively a lot from just earlier this year when he was sitting in the G League. But I really think there's a higher ceiling for this guy. I think that he can get even better around the rim and be even a more focal point of the offense and potentially even break his way back into our starting lineup. Thank you guys for watching.